Boy, what you done to my lady? Is you did or is you didn't whistle at my lady? Now did you whistle at my lady? True. I Boy, rumor has it you whistled at my lady. I'm tired of city slickers hitting on my lady. Dirty, low down, rotten city slickers. Boy, really don't like you kind around my lady. That song is called Did You Whistle? I just wrote that tonight. That song is dedicated to Emmett Till. Today is January 24th, which actually marks the date in history, 1956 today. Look Magazine publishes confession of two white men acquitted of killing Emmett Till in 1955, a year prior. So, as many may know, and as many may not know, Emmett Till was a young 14-year-old teenage boy from Chicago, Illinois, who was visiting family in Money, Mississippi, and he and a few friends were at a local grocery store in town, and there was a family-owned grocery store that at the time the wife was attending to and running and operating while the husband was out of town this current day, at this specific day. And Emmett Till and his friends happened to be at the store this day, and the woman and the wife of one of these two men that were acquitted falsely accused Emmett Till of whistling at her and grabbing her by the waist and pulling her close and saying, you know how many girls I get. Long story short, fast forward to that night, these two men show up at the door of Emmett Till's grandfather with 45 pistols and asking for Emmett Till. Now, mind you, Emmett Till's 14 years old. He's in the bed, in his pajamas, asleep. Furthest thing from his mind, that two men in the middle of the night would be coming to get him out of bed at gunpoint. Because he was falsely accused of, whistling at his wife. So, long story short, these two men take him out of his grandfather's home, and they pretty much torture him and beat him and kill him, and they throw his body into the river, tied to a cotton gin fan. So, after his body was discovered and everything was kind of brought to light, this event actually sparked the civil rights movement. For those of you who don't know that. The civil rights movement was a very prominent, important, imperative time for Black Americans. And this event, this atrocity actually sparked that whole movement, Once his body was recovered and the actual detail and the severe, significant damage that was actually done to him was on display. You know, his mother actually chose to have an open casket at his viewing and at his funeral because she wanted the world to see just what these two grown men done to her son, you know, for no reason, and were acquitted for. And that woman on her deathbed, I think it might have been 2 or 3 years ago. She died like recently. On her deathbed, she admitted to everything that she accused Emmett Till of doing and saying to be false. For those of you that have kids, for those of you that have, you know, sons, you couldn't imagine being in the shoes of Emmett Till's mother during that time. You couldn't imagine being Emmett Till's mother getting that phone call. You couldn't imagine being Emmett Till's mother looking at her son in that casket. It's hard to digest, but Emmett Till is just literally just one of many, one of thousands. Boy, did you whistle. Boy, what you done to my lady? Is you did or is you didn't whistle at my lady? Boy, rumor has it you whistled at my lady. I'm tired of you city slickers hitting on my lady. Dirty, low down, rotten city slickers. Boy, really don't like you kind around my lady. Rest in peace to Emmett Till and so many others that have been lynched and brutally murdered. The tragedies and the atrocities inflicted on the black community and our black children and our black youth. It's beyond imaginable. There were young black kids having to be escorted to school by police and National guardsmen just to go to school, just to enter the school, just to walk down the sidewalk into the school without having rocks thrown at them and all kind of debris and spray paint sprayed on them. And Emmett Till was it's almost like he was the sacrifice for everyone else that went out the way he did, that was murdered the way he did, but never got any justice, never got any exposure, you know. There's so many young men, women, and children who have been brutally killed and have gotten no justice. In fact, I think just recently they completely closed the case on Emmett Till. There's a bill to this day that still hasn't been signed. when it comes to lynchings and lynching and his whole case. I have to look more into it and get more detail and information on that, but it's a unfortunate nightmare that we have to live here in America. Our American dream has always been a nightmare, and it's never been fair. It's never been equal. It's never been what we've built it to be, and it's never been what they've written it to be. We all know now. Everything is based off status and economic status and money and we never stop to take the time to really realize that there's so much that has taken place for the sake of money and because of money. And black bodies and black souls have been in the crossfire of that. And I bring that up to say, this grocery store that was in the middle of that town, that the whole town actually shopped at, blacks, whites, it didn't matter. After this event happened, after this tragedy happened, all the black people in that town stopped shopping there at that store, at that grocery store. And long and behold, the store ended up going bankrupt and closing down. I say all that to say because sometimes you kind of have to stand up for yourself, and you kind of have to take matters into your own hands strategically. It's just something very powerful about taking your dollar elsewhere and unifying it and combining it. I'm going to go back a couple days since I missed a couple days. So January 19th, 1930, in response to interracial dancing in Watsonville, California, white mobs harass, beat, shoot, and destroy property of Filipino farm workers in 5 days of rioting, leaving one man dead. That's nothing new. That is nothing uncommon. That was nothing abnormal. Mobs of white men harassed, killed, and beaten and brutally violated and vandalized communities, homes, businesses, you name it, for centuries. And there's never been any justice or any reparations or any repercussions, consequences, nothing to this day. All right, January 20th, 1870, Southern Democrats declared the election of Mississippi Senator Hiram Revels, the first African-American senator, null and void, and forced a second vote. 1870, Southern Democrat declared the election of Mississippi Senator Hiram Revels, the first African-American senator, null and void, and forced a second vote. That's January 21st, 1804, Virginia legislature passes law this week outlawing all nighttime meetings of enslaved people. Such unlawful assemblies are made punishable by up to 20 lashes. I guess they will be beating my ass right now because we having a meeting right now. Sheesh, man. 1804. I guess we had 61 years left to go. It's interesting that on plantations and during slavery times, slaves would almost have to talk in code. This just goes to show you how intelligent and how brilliant our ancestors were. Despite the disbursement and the displacement of so many tribes that came from Africa, and so many languages mixed in, and the confusion that was inflicted amongst most enslaved people, we still were able to adapt and adjust and learn how to communicate and speak through codes. So even though most enslaved people maybe weren't able to have meetings and they weren't able to branch off and do their own thing, it's like they were able to communicate right there in the field, right there while they were working and laboring in ways that no one but them could understand and comprehend. It's brilliant. And so many rebellions and so many escaped slaves and so many strategic plans have really sprung so many iconic, prominent people in history into freedom just through so many intelligent, brilliant, strategic methods and ways, you know. Okay, January 22nd, 1883. U.S. Supreme Court in U.S. versus Harris refuses to permit Congress to criminalize acts of the terrorist group, the Ku Klux Klan. January 23rd, 1957. Ku Klux Klan members forced Willie Edwards Jr., a black resident of Montgomery, Alabama, to jump to his death from a bridge over the Alabama River. They never faced prosecution for his murder. I think I remember this story, and if I'm correct, they forced this man to jump to his death from a bridge, while they forced his father to watch him drown to death. And I'm pretty sure his arm, when they forced him to jump from the bridge, his hands were tied behind his back, and they forced his father to watch him drown when he jumped into the river. They forced his father to watch. Now this all was sprung because the man that jumped in the river, he was working at a store for a white man, and it was the white man's daughter's birthday, and the young man gave his daughter's birthday a birthday card. Gave his daughter a birthday card for her birthday, and that sprung a whole domino effect of violence, and they hunted this boy down, lynched him, and forced him to jump from the river. You know, beat him, tied him up, made him jump from the bridge into the river, forced his father to watch him drown. All right. And of course today, January 24th, 1956, Look magazine publishes confession of 2 white men acquitted of killing Emmett Till in 1955. There's a lot of pain in these strings. I'm just trying to figure out how to get it out. hope everyone has a blessed rest of their night. Stay safe, stay healthy. Continue to take your herbs, your oils. Take your health into your own hands. Don't put your health in the care and in the hands of others. Just do the best you can. Stick to what you know. Take care of your family. Stay active. Get out there, go for a walk, go for a run. These last couple of days I've been slacking myself. I let 2 nice days go by, but I definitely plan on getting out there the next nice day, going for a nice run. Continue to jump rope. Continue to do your push-ups, squats, anything basic that you can do to keep your heart rate going and keep that blood flowing. Got to stay healthy out here, people. Especially when the season breaks and it's starting to be spring and all the pollen. So let's try and do a little bit of prevention and keep ourselves healthy, beforehand, so we can kind of weather the blow a little bit. All right, everyone, have a good night. God bless. Stay safe. Take care. Peace.